In a time of rising unrest, when borders dominate headlines and immigration policy shapes the future of our nation, the truth matters. From the front lines of law enforcement, national security, and public policy, this is Frontline Facts, where rhetoric is stripped away, where politics takes a back seat, and where facts, hard, documented facts, lead the conversation. As instability grows beyond our southern border, as communities feel the impact at home, we bring you informed voices. Attorneys, senior law enforcement leaders, policy experts, and professionals who understand the law, the protocols, and the consequences. This isn't opinion. This isn't spin. This is clarity in a time of confusion. This is Frontline Facts, and the conversation starts now.
Welcome to Frontline Facts with Louisa Deason. We're correcting the immigration rhetoric and issues on public policy. In today's episode, we explore the vibrant tapestry of beliefs within the Muslim community. We will delve into the diverse traditions, practices, and interpretations that shape the everyday lives of Muslims in this country. I would like to welcome a very special guest, Ayman Amir. He's going to explain and clarify what the differences are and provide us with a much better understanding of this hot topic. Ayman, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hi, Louisa. Thank you so much for having me today. I am so pleased to be with you today, and I love your show. It's you're doing something different, and I want to say congratulations for your new show. And will definitely add value for anyone who is listening for you or watching you around the globe, not only around the nation.
Well, I thank you for that. And what we're going to do is go ahead and get right into the topic. So, starting out, give me a little bit about your background, where you're from, and then we can kind of explain and lay out why you're so passionate about this particular topic. And you're actually very well informed, and I want to share what you have to say with the audience.
Got it. So, I am coming from immigrant family, first generation. We immigrated to the States from Egypt. So basically, as Egyptian family, we speak Arabic language. So even in home, we speak Arabic language. And still, my daughter, she's 9 years old and she's American. She doesn't know anything about Egypt, but she catch the language from the house as we speak it. And when she called her grandma, she speak in Arabic. So this gives me an idea about the people who speak Arabic, which is the Arab. I am Christian Orthodox, and this is something. Anytime when I mention this, I'm from Egyptian family. People think I'm a Muslim, and I would say no. Egypt has a lot of Christians. They have Anglican, Orthodox, Catholic, from all different Christians, and also it has Muslims. But as a born in Egypt, I have direct contact with Muslims. I lived with them for some years. And that's give me a chance to have the passion of reading the Quran and El Sunnah, which is the traditions, and get some ideas about the difference between Islam and Christianity and Jews and different other religions. I have this passion since I was 16. So I have decades reading in religions and I have this as a deacon in the church too. I learned in Sunday schools, and also I learned in the pre-serving meetings a lot about the difference between Christianity and Islam.
Well, and one of the things that I think we need to clarify is what is the difference? What are the core beliefs that differentiate Christianity from Islam?
So this is a big question. And to be honest with you, we cannot cover everything in one episode, but I can give you the headlines. Like people think we believe in the same thing, but actually it's totally different. The core is coming from the Islam. We probably, as a Eastern Christian, know more about Islam more than the Western Christians. Like, if you ask someone from Egypt or Syria, Lebanon, he have family there or he's born there, probably tell you more about. If you ask someone who is only in the United States or in Europe, you don't know anything about Islam. It's totally different. The Christianity, we believe in one God, Jesus Christ, He come to us for the salvation. Islam looking for different thing. They believe Jesus, he is not God. He is just a prophet. And we dealing, and this is the dilemma between the Christianity and Islam. All the time, they claim this Jesus, he is a prophet. And even the way we believe, like both Christianity and Islam, we believe there's a heaven and there's a hell and there's a resurrection from the death. But even point of view, the Christianity for the heaven is totally different than the Islam. Like, for example, the Christians believe in the heaven or the paradise of joy. We will live with God for praise and we enjoy being with Jesus. And this is the reward. Islam, they believe in a reward, but the reward in Islam is more materialistic than the Christianity. Like they believe there's rivers of wine and rivers of milk, and there's will be marriage over there. Like every man he have like I think unlimited number of wives. So it's totally different. There's so many difference between Islam and Christianity as religions. The dilemma coming from the Muslims, how they receive the Christianity. Let me give you just one example because there's so many examples. But one of the things is that Muslims doesn't understand until today that we believe in one God. If you ask any Muslim around the globe about Christianity, they will tell you Christians believe in three gods because when we pray, we say in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They don't realize that we say one God, Amen. But they start to believe we believe in three gods. So it's a lot of difference. As I mentioned, it can't be happen in one episode. It's too much difference.
Well, and that brings up a valid point because, as well as I know, what we're seeing today is there's a lot of fear amongst the Muslim community. We had 9/11 happen, and of course, that kind of changed the entire country. A lot of changes took place, not only on immigration issues and policy and procedures, but a lot of the laws. And what I think people are afraid of is every Muslim that's out there. And it's a misconception because there is a difference between, someone who has come here to immigrate to this country legally and has done so and acclimates themselves, rather than those that are radicalized and want to come here that want to do this country harm. So let's talk a little bit about that and what you think.
So again, let's back up to beliefs. The majority of the immigrants, like my family, they came to have a better life, to live the American dream. Some people came through the system, like my family, apply for the lottery. When they get the lottery, they come here and they start a new life. Some other people, they came through asylum. Some people, they came through study visa or immigration or whatever. Whatever the type you came from, this is not the issue. But the issue usually came from when you came here, but you don't believe in the country you immigrate to. You don't believe this is the American dream. You want to take the American dream and turn it to something else, something matching your beliefs. And here's the issue. This is the fear of the people here now about the immigration, about the changing the culture, changing the traditions, changing the religion. Uh, Usually it's come from this side. Also, the fears reflect on the other groups, which is if we talk about Muslim groups, they think the West doesn't like us. No, we like everyone. Like America welcoming everyone from every side of the world. Why we don't hear about this about the people, the atheist or the people they have the Jewish or the Christian or Buddhist, whatever. The only thing was the people come from the Middle East, they have the Islamic religion. It's the ideology of transforming the society or transforming the American lifestyle to something matching with what they believe.
Well, and you mentioned ideology. I mean, some people can go to way extremes.
Yes.
And of course, what we've seen, and I don't know that many people are actually aware, but when you look at news and you look at I'm not saying every newscast is credible, but what I'm saying is people are envision that and they create their own vision and their own sort of profile of those that are burning the U.S. flag in the streets and they're praying and they're, chanting death to America. So I think there's got to be some level of education to separate which ones are the categories that are going to do harm to the country and those that are here that really have acclimated and done very well and are big contributors to society in this country.
Yes, let me tell you this. Not all Muslims think the same. I have so many friends of Muslims. Some Muslims friends are great. I love them so much. But the thing is, for some radical groups, they thinking differently. They here for a mission. They came to the United States for a mission to transfer or to change the American community or the American society to be Muslim. Some people they believe in this. This is not secret. If you go to the internet or Google or go to the YouTube, there's a lot of Muslim leaders like imams, what they call imams, like priests. They mention this loudly so many times in New York, Michigan, and on a lot of occasions they say the America should be turned to Islam. And here's the radical speech make people fear. Well, why you say this? You welcome to live in the United States as a Muslim. This is not a big issue. You can live, you can add value. There's a lot of doctors, engineers, scientists. A lot of Muslims, brilliant mind, live here in the United States very well. But the problem comes usually from the extremist people. And this extremist everywhere. I will not say only in Islam, but the issue is you don't see a Jews or a Hindu burning the American flag before or say this to America. Make the American people doesn't feel safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But that's why some people they say this. Not all Muslims are terrorists. There are a lot of nice people and well respected. But when we talk about is terrorist groups like Boko Haram, ISIS, Al Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, they coming from Islam background, and this is make people fear.
Well, and I think we've seen a lot of terrorists that have come into the country under the previous administration, and that's, I think, the biggest fear that we've ever had. We talk about Governor Abbott, who has kind of laid out legislation to stop these, Islamic cities, so to speak, and you see a lot of the fear with CARE, and you've had some experience. I think you've been approached by some of them while you're walking downtown,
Yes.
and so let's kind of cover that a little bit.
Yeah, so I work in downtown Houston. I work I forget to tell you this in the beginning. I work in one of the government sectors here in Houston, Texas. My work in downtown Houston. So I usually walk during my lunch break. So after Governor Abbott, he mentioned that Muslim Brotherhood and CARE has been banned as a terrorist group. And in Main Street, there's two young men, and they stopped me, ask me for donation. And I say, who you are, and what you are working for. And they say, we are working for CARE. And I'm looking to the polo shirt the guy he's wearing, he has the logo of CARE. I say, guys, you shouldn't do this because this is against the state law now. Your organization has been bad. And so I turn my back and leave. But like 2 days, I found them again in other place almost in the same street. So what does it mean for me? I think if the governor take an action as he banned Muslim Brotherhood and CARE as a terrorist group, there should be an action from here. And let me tell you, that's why CARE has been banned as a terrorist group. Let us start with the Muslim Brotherhood first.
Okay.
Muslim Brotherhood this year will establish as will be the anniversary of 100 years for Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood established at 1926 by a teacher. His name is Hassan al-Banna. He started his mission, established this group, and he tried to recruit some young people, and they have like hierarchy. So he be the boss, and then under him he has people for everything: people for education, people for military, people for logistics. And this will start like as alternative for the government. Like they will be like working parallel with the government. So they try to establish a system. But this system not only for Egypt, because they start in Egypt. This system not to occupy Egypt, they dream to occupy the whole world. Since this time, a lot of people came under the umbrella of Muslim Brotherhood, like Al Takfir wal Hijra, Hamas, Hezbollah. All this come under the umbrella of Muslim Brotherhood. And the problem when they will go from any place, they try to recruit people to work with them. Tell people Islam is the religion. No other religion could be accepted. And we have to have Islamic system, like Islamic Army, Islamic Department of Education, Islamic Department of Agriculture, everything.
Well, explain a little bit of that because I know for a fact that a lot of the fear that happens amongst the community is that they don't want, there's to a certain degree those that are radicalized are obviously they don't have the same views about women. They're not going to comply with Western Hemisphere, acclamations and things of that nature. But the fear exists if that, if we turn into an Islamic state, for example. And I believe Texas has either the first or the second largest Muslim community besides Detroit. And so one of the things that people I think are very fearful of is losing their rights and losing, what the Islamic radical to the extreme believes in.
Yes. So to be honest with you, as I mentioned before, I respect all Muslims people. But let's talk about the Islam. The Islam is matching with our constitution, and let me be more specific. Does the Sharia law is matching with our constitution? What is the Sharia law is? Was this the big fear? This primary election, we have the last question, the ballot here in Texas. It's talk about the Sharia law. And today I read the news, it's 95% of Texans has been voted for banning the Sharia law in Texas.
I believe it was Proposition 10, yes.
Yes, exactly. And this is a good news, by the way, because I respect Islam as a religion. It's one of the religions around, thousands of religions around the world, but Islam is not matching with our constitution. Let's take, for example, 2 or 3 quotes from the constitution. Our constitution give us the right, Sharia law give us this. Before I answer you, let me tell you exactly what the Sharia law means. The majority of Americans doesn't know exactly what Sharia law means. The word Sharia means a heavenly command, like the 10 Commandments of Moses. So when we say it in Arabic, we say the Sharia of Moses, or the Shariat Musa in Arabic, which is mean the 10 Commands of Moses. So when we say the Sharia law means the commands of God. So that's mean this is something heavenly coming from God. It's not negotiable. We can negotiate our constitution. We can change our constitution. We can make amendments. We can change the law. But if you talk to someone, it's something coming heavenly. This is not negotiable. And this is here the danger of the Sharia law. So let's back to the point. Our constitution give us the freedom of religion. Did the Sharia law give us the same agree to apply the Sharia law for the Americans? No. Because Islam says if you are Muslim, if you are a Christian, and you try to become Muslim, but after you have the experience with Islam, it doesn't match you or it does fit for you, and you turn it back to Christianity, no. There is no turning point here. You know what's happening for this guy? He should be killed. So
Well, I think that's what people are afraid of.
yes. So if you try to change your religion, you should be killed. Another thing, for example, we have the right of equality, like anyone is equal under the law. The man, the woman, the kid, the senior, we are one under the law. Islam doesn't believe the same thing. Islam say the man is better than the woman. For example, let me give you an example. Let's assume I die today and I have 2 kids, boy and girl, and I have $150 in the bank account. If I die today and I have a will or trust, they both equal in front of the law. So she take $75 and he will take $75. But the Islam say the boy is double girl. So if I die today and I have $150 in bank account, my boy should take 100 and my daughter should take 50. Yeah, so tons of these things. If you need me to tell you more, I can tell you more. So
Well, I think you've laid out some of the perspectives.
yes, and also for the rights, talk about the civil rights, like the freedom of speech. The American Constitution believe in the freedom of speech, but the Islam doesn't believe in this. We say this is heavenly, so it's not negotiable. For example, I love Donald Trump. I respect him very much. I voted for him and I was in his campaign. But let's assume Trump did something against the Constitution or against the law. I will not say I was him. No, I will protest against him because he break the law, right? And
Right.
they say
Nobody's above the law.
yeah, no one is above the law. But the Islam say no. You can't protest against the leader. You can't protest against the king because the king is coming by God. Like, back to these centuries ago in Europe, like the king is come from God. Because this is when the church is misleaded by the leaders. So it's exactly the same thing. So if you apply the Sharia law, you have to be ready for all your rights will taken from you. The right for protest, freedom of speech, equality, everything. Also, let me tell you this. I tell you this is tons of things, but let me tell you the last thing.
Go ahead.
I am married and I have one wife. But if I am Muslim, the Islam gives me the right to marry up till 4. And this is against the American law. You can't have 4 wives here. Probably some people like this law, especially the men. They like to have this apply for everyone, but it doesn't work. Like you can't have 4 wives. This is against the American law. But Islam gives you this right. If you travel to, that's why I tell you, probably when we have the discussion before, or probably tell a lot of friends about this. That's why it's a big immigration issue. If someone has been randomly selected in the diversity lottery system, and he marry more than wife, he can't bring all of them as wives.
Listen, we're going to have to cut over to a commercial break real quick because we do have sponsors we want to highlight. Thank you for waiting.
When the stakes are high, clarity matters. In today's fast-moving media environment, misinformation spreads fast, especially around immigration policy, national security, and public safety. That's where Deason Consulting Services steps in. Led by Louisa Deason, former investigative journalist, DHS and ICE subject matter expert, and certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, Deason Consulting equips leaders, candidates, law enforcement, and executives with clear posture, confident delivery, and fact-based messaging. From immigration policy education and media response strategy to crisis communication and executive message development, Deason Consulting helps you cut through the rhetoric and speak with authority. Whether you're preparing for a press conference, navigating a complex policy issue, or facing high-pressure media scrutiny, we prepare you to lead. Deason Consulting Services. Strategic communication, informed leadership, measured response. Contact Deason Consulting today and be ready when it matters most. Call today 832-244-2488 or email louisa@deasonconsultingservices.com.
When it comes to motorcycles, there's talk, and then there's real experience. At Mad Dog Moto, it's hands-on. Street bikes, dirt bikes, high-revving machines, and hard-ridden trail beasts. From routine maintenance and diagnostics to engine builds, clutch replacements, suspension upgrades, and performance tuning. Every bolt matters. Carbureted or fuel injected, electrical troubleshooting, precision dial-ins. No shortcuts, no guesswork. Because performance means nothing without reliability, and power means nothing without safety. This isn't just wrenching, it's craftsmanship. It's knowing how a bike should feel when it's tuned right, how it should respond when you twist the throttle, and how it should hold up when you push it hard. At Mad Dog Moto, every machine gets treated like it's our own. Ready to ride stronger? Call us today at 346-404-3901. I repeat, 346-404-3901. Or email us at maddogmotoservice@gmail.com. Mad Dog Moto. Dependable, powerful, ready to up your ride.
Well, we're back. I am Louisa Beeson. I am your host for Frontline Facts. We are correcting the rhetoric, and we're coming back to our guest today. I think Trump did the right decision and going ahead and, he's paused a lot of the countries that are either supported by terrorism or are from terrorist countries that are wanting to come in or really don't have the infrastructure and are not really friendly to the United States. And he's actually put a huge pause on all the visas from about 76 different countries. When we talk about the foreign students, for example, a lot of those, they're violating the terms of their visa when they come in and they're protesting, they're chanting death to America, or they're chanting rhetoric that is against the U.S. You can't do that. There's a fine line between freedom of speech and then spewing rhetoric that makes it almost borderline terroristic threats. Or terroristic threats.
Yes, that's why why people come here and keep saying this to America. I lived there for some years, and I still go to visit between years. Like last time I visit, what was 2021. I see people, or I listening to them in the microphones of mosques say this after the prayers. This to America, this to Jews, this to Christians. That's why people, when they came here, they came not to having the American dream. They came here and they understand that America hates us, but using the American welfare is not something wrong. And this is what they call the taqiyya. Have you heard about this termination?
I have not. Please explain.
So the taqiyya is terminology that they used to use it before for the war reason, but it's become like a lifestyle, which is you can lie, you can cheat, you can do whatever. It's helping you to reach your goal. It's like kind of Machiavelli rule, the Machiavelli rule, do whatever it can make you win. So some imams or some priests teaching people the taqiyya, especially the Muslim Brotherhood. And this is one of the main teaching point for the Muslim Brotherhood is taqiyya. But because taqiyya is there in their religion, so they can use it whenever they need. So they tell people, if you go to like a country like America, America is a Christian country. They are not Muslims. And what does it mean? This mean the money of the American people is halal. You know what halal mean? I can take it.
Okay.
So halal, you always hear about halal food. And the halal in Arabic means something is not against the Sharia or not against the godly law. So if you take something doesn't belong to you, that's mean haram. Haram it's forbidden. Halal means you have a permission to do this. So because of taqiyya or the Machiavelli, people come here and they say, okay, if I fraud, like what's happening in Minnesota, if I fraud the system and I steal some money for me, my family, my kids, this is not something wrong.
But that's fine line between federal law and fraud. And, what's happened in Minnesota is amazing. I mean, the way the whole thing is unfolded, and just the rhetoric and the hatred, and, it's just very, very scary. But, what people tend to not realize is governors and states, really local and state, don't really, they're not in a position to tell the federal government how to rule on immigration law. And some of these, I guess you could call them judges that are district judges, really don't have any jurisdiction on civil cases. And so I know that the government has gone after and tried to discover it. And I'm sure, I mean, the numbers are staggering with what they've been able to unveil about the fraud just in Minnesota. And they're saying now that the possibility of it being, even worse in California is even greater. But there have to be laws that are followed in the Western Hemisphere. I mean, we have laws that people need to abide by. And regardless of religion, I mean, it's kind of like we do as the Romans do when you go to Rome, right?
Yes, yes. And believe me, the second generation or third generation from people coming from the Middle East, when they raise here and they understand what I belong, the country which is respect me, respect my beliefs, give me the chance to become something, give me the chance to achieve my goals, give me a better health care, give me better education system, give me freedom of speech, give me rights. Because, and let me tell you this, all of us, when we're watching the last speech of President Donald Trump at SOUT, and Ilhan Omar, she's keep screaming and say, you killed the American people. Let me ask her if she's listening to us today. Can you go to Somalia and say the same thing in the Somalian parliament? No.
Most likely not. And the crazy
They
thing
will
about
arrest
that-
her. They will arrest her. Before she go to home, she will not go to her house this night. She sleep at the jail without even have the right to protest or to appeal or whatever. They will put her in a jail. These radical countries having the system, they don't have this much of freedom we have.
Well, I think there's a lot of fear in the communities. First, you've got, the threat of socialism and communism, which people have been made aware of, several years back. But the other is, the Islamic movement that does not want to cooperate with the U.S. and does not want to do anything productive. They want to do us harm. And when you look at the open border policy and what happened under the previous administration, I know for a fact that there has never been, because I've worked the system, but I can tell you, I think the biggest fear was the staggering numbers of not only the apprehensions that were taking place in the catch and release at the southern border and along the northern border, but to think that over 274 terrorists on terrorist watch lists entered the country and they were caught. But I know that that was just a drop in the bucket compared to what might have gone through the crack. And the bigger fear is finding them, because they're very patient. And I'm sure that we have terrorist cells in this country already and have for a while. And it's almost like a waiting game. But I mean, what do you tell the American public today about quashing some of the fears, or how to be vigilant and what to look for?
This is a good question. But before I answer this question, let me tell you this. These terrorist groups not only try to damage the Western civilization, they also damaged them countries. Before we banned the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist group by respectable President Donald Trump, Egypt, which is the mother country for Muslim Brotherhood at the established 100-year in Egypt, has banned it 2 years before us. Can you believe this? They arrest all Muslim Brotherhood by the current president, General Al-Sisi. He's a great guy. He arrests all of them, put them in the jails for the place they belong to. And I am glad that President Trump has do the same thing as he banning Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist group. And I also grateful for our governor, Abbott. He do the same. And I wish this has become like a federal law. So all the Muslim Brotherhood and all the other groups come under them umbrellas to ban as terrorist group.
This has over 300 mosques, I believe.
Yes.
We lead in the States and the U.S. with the amount of mosques that we have currently.
Let me surprise you. Today, before our meeting, I did some search, and I realized Texas coming in the ranking for number 5 of the Muslims population all over the country. New York number 1, and definitely that's why Mimdani's become mayor over there. And I talk about Mimdani in my podcast many times. So again, the problem was not with the peaceful Muslims. The
Right.
people they
Correct.
come here
Wanna
to
make sure
live
that
the
gets
American
clear.
dream. The people they come here to live the American dream, to achieve them goals, or to have some better life here, to benefit from the system and also benefit our system. If they are successful doctor, professors, engineer, they are mostly welcome. Let me back to your questions about the message to American people. What I say is, as an American coming from the Middle East, and I understand exactly the radical Muslim groups, I study more about this. Don't be panic. Don't be afraid. You live in the country can protect you. Don't worry about anything. But also, Jesus teach us you have to be kind like a dove, wise as a snakes. So you should be aware. Don't open your arms for any groups you don't know them. Don't host meetings in your house you don't know them. If you have a neighbor, be nice, be kind, help. Don't be panic, but you have to be aware if someone try to take you to um, an era of um, sending lie or try to putting lies in your head about America is not fair, America hit us, or this is not true. The answer of this question, if America doesn't like you, why you are here? You are here because America gave you the permission to be here.
But let's dive into I guess the more critical question, and a lot of fear that happens with what is the situation in Iran and how do you see that affecting the United States? Obviously, I mean, the biggest concern is that they have nuclear weapons, but beyond that, it's an ideology, it's a different way of life and thinking and belief systems, et cetera, et cetera.
So I'm glad that's our military doing a great job so far in Iran. Um, I'm not a military guy, but from my following the news as I'm a podcaster, so I'm following the news every single second. I see the numbers coming from the Department of War, as our Secretary Pete Higson say we destroy almost the whole navy of the Iranian and air defense, and only the Iranian militias they are fighting now. Um, I realized today they're starting sending lies about our troops. This we already have a troops and the boots in the ground, and this has not happened. And they keep telling people we arresting. And I saw some funny videos and some funny photos by AI. That's our they arresting hundreds of American soldiers, and this is funny because they keep telling this in Arabic. They can't tell this in English as this is lies. And today, when I was watching the news, that Pete Hickson's catch this even in Arabic, like the team of the definitely CIA, and they mentioned, hey guys, they sending lies. Don't believe we don't have anything. Our militaries are great. Our soldiers are fine. Uh, but the fear for people about they have nuclear weapon, I can't tell more about this as I'm not a military guy. But what I'm saying, as President Trump mentioned this couple of days, they looking now for negotiation. They want to talk because they know exactly they don't have a cover. Probably before they go to this situation, they think they are can defend themselves. They can hide from our technology. But if you read between the lines, the Iranian system is talking for decades. We are strong. They are the committee, which is the high, the president. If we can claim he's a president, he's since 19 something, and they say we are strong, but less than weak. Where are the Iranian military? Where are the Iranian Air Force? Where are the Iranian Navy? They gone.
Well, and I tell people all the time, you've got to be careful where you're getting your news from. And, you've got to find reliable sources, because not only does AI really tarnish the image, but,
Mhm.
so much is so made up, and, there's just so much propaganda out there that you
Yeah,
just really need to know exactly where your sources of information are coming from.
and I think Lisa, we learned the lesson from what's happening in Iraq during Bush. If I'm positioned to take a decision, I will not put soldiers, boots on ground over there. You don't need to do this. You already have achieved more than you need. You destroyed all the system. And
Well, there was a lot of mistakes made. I mean, they went after weapons of mass destruction. They couldn't find them. It was just that the whole situation was a mess. And I worked for the immigration service when that took place, and that was just an absolute disaster.
Mhm. I think we should be good. Again, I'm in a position to talk more about the tactics or what should be next. But from what I believe, we we in a good position, as the majority of the European countries with us, the majority of the even the Arab worlds with us, like Emirat, Bahrain, Qatar, Egypt, all these countries with America. So even the people you consider them your brothers, you're starting attack them by rockets because they have American bases. So that's mean you are fighting alone, and nobody can fight alone and can stand forever.
Well, and that's just it. The one thing that I can say is you've done a very good job of squashing some of the major fear that has happened. I mean, I get calls all the time and they're asking me what to do, and I'm thinking, I'm not the expert in this field, but I'll certainly get somebody who is very knowledgeable about what's actually happening. We're almost to the end of our podcast, but please tell me if there's anything else that we need to cover that you feel very strongly about.
Muslims are good people. I deal with a lot of people because we speak a lot about Islam a lot. This podcast. America is fit for everyone. You are mostly welcome to come here to live the American dream, to raise your kids, to have better education. They have better job, better education. This is for everyone around the globe. We are immigration country. We have open arms for everyone. But please don't bring an ideology with you if you try to come to live in the United States.
Well,
Don't,
the legal way as well. You have to
yes,
enter legally.
even if you came legally, believe it or not, some people, like, you remember the one who is killing people in the
Yes, I do.
Christmas bazaar, and he's coming through the system. He came legally through the diversity lottery. So whatever the way you came to the United States, if you came to the United States to live the American dream, you are more than welcome. If you came here to have an ideology and you try to fear people, or you don't love America, as exactly Donald Trump said, if you don't love America, leave. If you don't come here as a student like Mahmoud Khalil, or the he is in Columbia University, and you say this to America, and or try to burn the American flag. No, you have to respect the country, open the arms to you to become a student, to have the good education. Because if you don't, if you have better education in your country, why you came here? If you have
Well,
better,
the other thing is I think you need to understand people that come in and gain a benefit. There should be reviews on a regular basis as to what you do once you become a legal permanent resident. I mean, just because people change drastically, and he's a prime example of that. And I know that his wife and him are facing deportation, but there are citizens, naturalized citizens, just like our part of the mob up there in Minnesota, that definitely should not merit having been naturalized citizens. I mean, if you're seeking refuge in the United States because you're fleeing your country for fear of political persecution or religious persecution, then don't bring that ideology here. You nailed it when you said that. There are many, many peaceful Muslims in this country. I know many of them here in the Houston area that are very incredible people, but there has to be checks and balances, and there has to be a lot of revisions and a lot of checks.
Also, to conclude the conversation, what's the issue is the belonging. When you live in a country like America, you feel you belong to this country. The problem with some radical group, they don't have this belonging to the land. They have to belonging to what they believe. So I belong to America as I'm American citizen. I'm so proud to be American citizen. I'm Christian, and I also belong to Christianity. But my belonging to Christianity, it doesn't something come against belonging to the country. They are working together. They are not separate. So the problem with some people, they have ideology. The belonging is not to the country. And this is the main ideology for the Muslim Brotherhoods, especially this group and all the other radical groups come under the umbrella. The belonging is only for the religion, not for the country. They don't believe in borders. They don't believe in taxation. They don't believe in human rights. They believe in belonging only to the religion. And
Right.
this
And you
is
see a lot of that with
yes.
these liberal Democrats that are, some of them have just gone off their rocker, to be honest with you. I mean, this belief of protecting the criminal alien and doing all these other things that just don't match this country's fabric is just beyond me. I don't know how you could live that way, and I don't know how you could continue being respected with those.
This is the issue. So if the people have this feel of belonging to the land, belonging to the flag, like even if you naturalized, like you came here as a green card holder and you naturalized, when you take the oath, you swear you will protect the land, the flag, the Constitution. So how you become American and you still don't have this feel of belonging to the country? Open the arms for you. This is the message for the people that come here. And my last message is for the American people. Don't worry about America. America's strong. We have seen America ups and downs like the roller coaster for decades. You remember when we have the fear since the 9/11. We have the fear after the Iraq War. We have the fears but you don't need to be fear. You have to be believer. God say in the Bible, I came to you to give you a better life. So we are protected by God first. We are protected by our beliefs second. We are protected by our Constitution, by our army. We have the strongest country in the whole world. So don't panic. Don't be afraid of anything, but be dynamic. Don't be static.
I think it goes a long way for people to start educating themselves and doing some research about
Yes.
the different things that we've discussed tonight, because
Yes.
a lot of people just have that fear and closed mind and don't want to do anything but just create the hate. And I think that's the biggest misconception, because we are a free country. Well, Ayman, I want to thank you profusely for being on tonight, and of course, we want to thank our audience and thank our sponsors. And I think that brings us to the end of our show. So I want to thank you, and again, thank everybody for listening to Frontline Facts with Luis Edison. And I think that with that, we conclude.
Thank you so much, Louisa, for having me today. I'm so pleased to be with you, and best of luck for your next episodes.
You're welcome.